Although an effort is made to calculate the fall of space debris to avoid problems or accidents, on several occasions it is not possible to control the trajectory that these objects take before colliding with the Earth. SpaceX is one of those companies that has always distinguished itself by trying to maintain the trajectories of its capsules. But it seems that, at least on this occasion, its calculations failed. Or so claimed the Australian Space Agency when debris fell on a farm. And what will the Australian government do with the wreckage of that capsule and everything else that survived the impact? Elon Musk's company clearly did not expect one of its capsules to veer off course and end up very close to an Australian farm. However, the tycoon and his team don't seem to have a special protocol for this kind of situation. But how do they plan to recover that piece of metal? For now, what is known about it is this. Today's news has to do with two factors that you probably never expected to see together. On the one hand, we have SpaceX, this company that has revolutionized space travel and has taken several people from different parts of the world to discover one of the most popular areas of our space plane, the Kármán line. On the other hand, we have a farm in New South Wales, Australia, a place where life went on as usual until a few days ago it dawned with an unusual object in the field. But what does a world-renowned company have to do with a farm in one of the most remote parts of the world? Nothing at first, but when farmer Mick Miners first saw the strange black object sticking out of the ground in his field, both factors were inevitably involved. The first thing that came to the farmer's mind when he saw the thing was that it had just been captured from a dead tree. However, when he approached it for a closer look, he was surprised to discover that the object looked nothing like a charred log. In fact, the piece of metal was so strange in its construction that Mick didn't hesitate to make several calls for someone to explain what the thing was. The news soon reached more and more people, which in turn helped the coverage of the event to attract the attention of experts, who also came to analyze the object. While various tests were carried out on the piece of metal in question, several professionals concluded that it was nothing more than debris that had fallen from space. Of course, it didn't take long for the Australian government to get wind of the discovery. How had this debris arrived on the farm, and who was responsible for what had happened? The Australian Space Agency was responsible for breaking the news, as well as pointing the finger at the culprits behind the debris: SpaceX, the space firm owned by billionaire Elon Musk. Specialists have reported that the finding can be described as bizarre and extremely impressive, as most capsule debris tends to disintegrate due to the high temperatures it reaches when falling. It was also commented that, due to the new ventures that are emerging in space, such incidents could become a common occurrence in the near future. Although these words were not to the liking of many, we cannot deny the fact that these words are quite right. From the state it's in, the object is thought to have fallen to Earth on the 9th of July, when the Crew Dragon capsule was returning 4 astronauts from the International Space Station. For those who don't know, SpaceX usually launches 2 types of capsules into space. The first are the Dragon, and those are responsible for delivering food, research equipment, collected data, and other objects. That's all they use. The second are the Crew Dragon, and these are the ones that carry astronauts to the station. Thanks to the study of the wreckage, many assume that it belongs to the boot that was part of the spacecraft that was launched on the 2nd of May last year. The capsule landed safely off the coast of Florida, although it had to get rid of all the equipment that was no longer useful. From what we have seen, the capsule debris fall does not appear to have any serious consequences on the crops and wildlife of Mick Miners. In any case, it looks like the Australian government might have something to say about the debris from that machine, and about SpaceX's safety measures. Already gone for something to keep watching the video? Perfect. Let's stay on topic. Along with the first piece of debris, Mick Miners also found 2 other pieces near the first one. As a result, the Australian Space Agency issued a statement asking that if any other objects like these are found, they will contact SpaceX's space debris hotline. One of the experts called in to investigate the event was astrophysicist Brad Tucker of the Australian National University. Although he is often asked to analyze similar events, he almost always finds debris that is either very small or adds little to his study. So, finding such a large piece of space debris was impressive. Quote, "It was super exciting to see all this up close. "I've never seen a piece of space junk like this fall," he said in a video. Meanwhile, Don Polacco, a professor of astrophysics at the University of Warwick in the UK, commented that he too was of the opinion that such an event was rare, as most space debris did not touch the ground. In his explanation, he added that, although some debris tends to fall to Earth every day, the vast majority of it ends up sinking to the depths of the oceans, because most of the planet is made up of such vast expanses of liquid. While it is true what Professor Don says about the Earth, we cannot fail to mention certain events that have occurred in recent years. One is the case of Lottie Williams, who was hit by debris, which did not cause significant damage. The other occurred in 2020, when debris damaged buildings in Côte d'Ivoire, all from a rocket of Chinese origin. As we can see, encounters with objects of this type have been observed in recent years, and due to the impressive number of rockets being sent into space each week, it is expected that sightings on the ground will become more frequent. Add to that the fact that the sun is moving into a more active cycle, which favors debris falling to Earth, and it is safe to say that the situation will soon be as common as many others. This is worrying because, in a study published by the University of British Columbia in Canada, it has been commented that there is at least a 10% chance that one or more people will lose their lives to this debris in the next decade. When asked about this, Professor Polacco said that the chance of one person being seriously injured is close to zero, at least at this point in time. Quote, "I don't think people should be afraid. The chance of being hit by one of these objects is incredibly small," he said. Of course, when SpaceX was asked to speak on the subject, they simply ignored the TV station's requests. And so, we close today's video. Although not too many companies are involved in spaceflight, the incident a few days ago has shown that they cannot be left with the task of taking care of their own debris without prior regulation. Fortunately for Musk, this incident in Australia remains an anecdote and a warning. But what if that debris had drifted a few more meters and ended up landing on the farmer's house? Then we would be telling a very different story, and SpaceX would be in serious trouble. Comment what you thought of the video, and if you want to add any suggestions for future content, the recommenders leave their recommendations. Thank you very much for sticking around until the end. Leave your like, and don't forget to subscribe. See you next time.